Today morning on the show, we're talking about what looks like a seemingly increasing trend. Gen Z choosing to shift away from the traditional idea of 9-to-5 jobs and opting instead to become their own bosses. Let's take you through the numbers first. So, a recent poll actually conducted in the UK revealing that 77% of Gen Z wants to be entrepreneurs. They're aiming to run their own businesses, and the goal is to do something of their own instead of working for established firms. More data actually pointing out within that same study that 39% of them believe they can be successful and they can manage a business entirely from their smartphones. This trend highlights obviously the increasing role of digital tools and platforms within the larger idea of becoming an entrepreneur that we're anyway seeing an increase in today.
So what's making this generation sort of skip what they call our corporate mazdoors? And it is an inflexible environment, is it? Is it wanting to retire early? It can't be just tech, right? It's clear that this digital savvy Gen Z has a fantastic entrepreneurial spirit. In fact, it goes beyond just wanting to be their own boss. They're driven by passion, curiosity, the desire to create something meaningful. Some develop these attributes early on. Some are sparked with the need of solving somebody's problem. They don't care if it's a white-collar job or a blue-collar job. They're just looking for gaps in the market that can be catered to. So much so that even if you compare them to the earlier generations, like Generation X, baby boomers, etc., they were all driven by societal pressures कि नौकरी अच्छी होनी चाहिए, career path होना चाहिए. Gen Z doesn't care. And CEOs vouch for it because these CEOs of companies go on to talk about the exponential technology exposure that is there in this generation, the mindset of innovation and agility that is there in this generation, and which makes them to say that, listen, we will freelance over regular jobs, we will do gig work, and we will be our own boss.
Right, and often creating your own thing is so much harder than working a 9-to-5. It's hard to compare the two. So today on the show, we have with us exciting young entrepreneurs who started their own thing. And we'll go over to each of our guests to understand a little bit about how they've decided to break free from the traditional career mold, build their own path for themselves. First on the show, we have the founders of Shakhe. It's a fashion brand that upcycles, or started at least by upcycling saris, kurtas. We have with us Aishwarya and Nomita both on the show. I believe you're actually wearing Shakhe outfits with us here. Just tell our audiences a little, because we said you started by, I believe this was a pandemic baby. You started by upcycling clothes that were lying around your mother's saris, kurtas into, for example, corsets. Just walk us through the initial idea. Aishwarya, we'll take that to you. Sorry, we'll tell you before we go to each one of you.
So we started it in 2020 in the midst of the pandemic. So at this point, we were still in college, actually. So, it was that point during the pandemic where we were all pretty bored. Apart from our classes, we were looking for something else to do. We couldn't get out of our homes. So that's when we saw a lot of saris and old dupattas, which has like probably a small tear because of which it can't be used anymore. So we thought, okay, let's just try making something with this. So personally, we started doing this on our own with like the limited knowledge we had at that point of designing, because we were still in the second year of college. So that's how we started out. And slowly, as we started posting it on our personal Instagram accounts, a lot of people reached out to us saying, oh my God, this is so unique. You should sell this. And that's when this idea kind of sparked within us. And we discussed it. And we just thought, okay, let's give it a go. Basically, we didn't start Shakhe with the intention of it becoming our entire career. It started more organically. I think that speaks to our slow fashion brand in itself. And that's how it started out. And slowly we realized this is what we want to do because we love doing it. Even between our college assignments, we always wanted to do Shakhe. And after we did our internships, it just became more clear to us that we want to work for ourselves. We think there is scope here. And there's a gap in the market here. So that's why we went ahead with Shakhe.
Okay.
Right. After we did our internship, it came to us. I want to delve a little more on that one. But just for our viewers, Aishwarya and Nomita, they're 24, 26. They are from NIFT. They clearly knew that they were studying for fashion designing. A lot of fashion design students actually want to have labels of their own. So my question then, Nomita, to you is this. What happened at that internship and what made you guys feel that, listen, we've got something exciting going on over here. It's coming from a passion space and let's pursue this.
Okay, so we both worked at completely different kind of internships. I worked in a premium menswear brand while she worked in a ethnic small fashion women's wear brand. In mine, I just did not feel the passion for menswear, first of all. And looking at other colleagues, I realized it's going to be years before they even consider taking my opinions in terms of design. And there's very limited stuff that you can creatively do in brands like these. And was kind of hindering my growth as well. So because of that, because Shaki was happening side by side, I felt so much freedom here compared to that, where I can creatively express myself, which is why I felt like it was much better to work on our own than work in the fashion industry, which is a little bit different from corporates, normal corporates. And yeah.
Very interesting. So you had that sort of awareness ki theek hai, ye nahi karna. I don't want to do this. Let's go back to Aishwarya. If I could ask you, in the journey of Shakhi, it feels like there's been quite a bit of iteration in terms of initially starting by upcycling. I think at some point you've realized that while you do want to focus on being eco-conscious in many ways, you've had to broaden out from that initial upcycling tag. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that has looked like? Tell us also about the resources involved in creating something of your own.
Yeah, so like I initially mentioned, we started out during the pandemic with saris and things that we found around in our homes. But then soon we realized as the demand increased, it's not possible for us to continue like this. So in nature, Shaki has always been about Indian textiles. So that's where our thought went. After that point, we thought, okay, we need to source more Indian textiles. We're noticing that a lot of people of our generation have started taking a notice to these textiles, but probably don't want to wear it in the same way that our previous generations have been wearing it in terms of kurtis or saris or more traditional Indian wear. So that's when we started sourcing the fabrics, but stuck to truly Indian textiles. And we realized that we also need to keep up with the upcycling tag that we have had from the beginning. So in the middle, we also did use whatever saris we could find either from in our homes or our friends' homes. People would often approach us telling we have this sari, we don't want to throw it away. You guys could make something out of it. So we would still take those up and we make our desi corsets. They're called Rani. So that's still on our website. We still upcycle those things. And we're also zero waste brand. As in, after we cut out our pieces, none of the waste material, we make sure it doesn't go out into landfills. We try to prolong the life of these scraps in a sense that we either make scrap totes, like upcycled totes, or we make tushi kushis is what we call them. They're basically cushions that are stuffed with scraps, like cut into small pieces. And we usually sell them in our stalls and such like that, or also give them out for free when we as like a marketing thing in stalls. Okay. So that's how we continued. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Namita, since we are discussing why Gen Z likes to ditch the 9-to-5 job, there is this sort of trend which is saying, listen, I don't want to work for anyone. But then reality also strikes in where you have to raise funds on your own. You have to be, if you employ more people, you have to pay salaries. You have to be responsible for them. There are going to be no leaves, no period leaves, no maternity leaves. You've got to work all day like it's your baby. So how is that coming along for young people like you? And I'm sure there's an entire community of those who are starting out young.
Yeah, that makes sense because 9-to-5 was never an option for us. But when we start a brand, we do have to work 24/7 on it. So it's not really a bargain. But starting your own brand gives you a better work-life balance, which is what we're looking for because I don't think we're finding that anywhere else. It's not about like starting your own brand. You can be lazy. You can do whatever you want when you want. It's nothing like that. It's like 100% effort every single day. You need to show up to work just like a normal job, and you have to give it more because you have something to prove now to the society that you started something on your own. and you have to be like, you're so passionate about it. And obviously, it's your baby, you want it to work. So it is pretty hard because, like, some days when things are going wrong, you can't go to your boss and be like, because you are your own boss, and you're just like, you need to figure stuff on your own. And some days are pretty hard, but we just have to figure stuff out on our own, I guess.
Let me ask, Aishwarya, let me ask you, just taking from what Namita just said, walk us through a challenge that Sake has faced, that Sake has overcome. Tell us about that. Also, because you are a digital first, we're just showing for our audiences what your Instagram page looks like. I believe you have almost 40,000 followers on your page. Your customer base looks like it's primarily Gen Z also. What is it like having Gen Z customers? Are there a share of problems that come there too?
Yeah, definitely. So one of the challenges we faced initially was we had started in 2020, but I think by 2022 we were still stuck with the same number of following. We had a lot of repeat customers, but we weren't able to reach the larger market. And even if we did, we were not able to uh, provide what they wanted. So that's another thing. That's an issue we had back 2 years ago. But then I don't know what happened, but I think it's sort of luck to an extent that one of our reels went viral, and because of that, we suddenly started getting a lot of followers, and that's when we were kind of forced to expand. We were forced to stop doing everything ourselves, at least the stitching part of it, because up to that point, we were even doing that ourselves. So we were forced to hire a tailor, and that was one of the challenges we faced. I think the fear of like getting out of your comfort zone was like it was kind of difficult for us involving other people. So we're still facing a challenge with that. I'd say we're still very small and we do need to expand a bit more. So I think the fact that we went viral kind of forced us to step out of our comfort zone. So that was one of the challenges we faced. And as for dealing with Gen Z customers, I mean, obviously they have been really supportive of us, and we are majorly an Instagram brand, but we have a website now. So we do get a lot of comments, a lot of DMs. It's difficult to, like text so many people constantly, but we do understand their fears. Like, since we are an Instagram brand, I think we've faced a lot of customers being scared that this is a scam, that we won't sell them the products. So yeah, things like that is our day-to-day life, like having to assure people that no, we are very conscious about your order, and we'll make sure it reaches you, and we'll make sure we'll sort out any problems that you have. So yeah, that's been a challenge, and it still continues to be. Hopefully it gets better soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Aishwarya and Namita, thanks so much for coming in here and sharing your story with us. But we've got more people to understand this Gen Z trend of ditching 9-to-5 jobs from. Let's welcome Vinayak Agarwal.